on. They're actually going to fly right overhead. They've recognized they have been completely outdropped. Their intentions are elsewhere. Sato and Andalex, though, on the north side of the warship here at Brutal Beachhead. Could be a moment for Acorn and Cole to potentially manifest their own destiny here on the day, because they have certainly encountered a fair share of struggles. And the contest also continues at the Rebels Roost for Kovacs, Putty, Sky, and Scroll.
Looking for an opportunity, looking for an angle right now. Putty's gonna get a huge pickup from the drop right there, so that's the round out the loadout here. Shotgun, AR ready to go. Burst being a great option so early right now. Monarch pistol for Kovacs, so not exactly the best. However, this is a hot drop, so you can see there are plenty of drones flying around that'll drop good loot as well. But Scroll and Sky this time not content with what they've received. Back off. We've seen them do this before. Meanwhile, on the other side, a Power-Worthy and Alex kicking things off, continuing their domination over Restored Real. They really have impressed us, I would say, with what they're capable of in the early game. If they can just patch up that mid game, I mean, they would make OCE very proud.
Well, they've managed to smooth out the difficulties that they had in day one as far as that 50-50 drop is concerned and Restored Reels. The problem now today has just been Kanata and Cooper, amongst other teams, just closing in on that location after they see the exchange take place. But Acorn is currently situated here at Brutal Beachhead without Cold, and considering the Andalex as an elimination of his own, you have to expect that that was the one he found on the Cold.
Yeah, it's sad to see, but it's about the worst we've seen Acorn and Cold do in person right now, and there's a lot of factors starting to add up. Normally, they played very, very well, you know, being contested. However, there were some rumors Cold wasn't feeling 100% today, so that could be taking its effect here now, especially as we drag on later into the evening, as they've kind of slipped down. But shift our focus into the stars of the evening, if you will. Boyo and Pewterbot right now really starting to take form here. Last game makes you wonder what all went wrong in the mid game, given that they were just in shambles somehow. No extra material. And then on the other side, Queasy and Thomas had a opposite situation, but this time it's an elimination.
They pushed in rather quick to capitalize on Kramsu and Clone, who do land a little bit north of where Research Rock is at. And sure enough, Queasy just beaming Kramsu. Could have potentially just been a circumstance where Kramsu didn't even have time to react. He just got dropped. And Clone, who do land a little bit north of where Research Rock is at. And sure enough, Queasy just talking about in between these matches is the fact that Queasy and Thomas have been able to find the placement points, but what they need to add to it at this stage are the eliminations.
Definitely being elimination light is what's holding them back on the standings right now, but consistency is surely theirs. And that'll trump everything. Talk about consistent teams. Vico and Flixie have been online, but this time they have to be careful, have to be wary of Bryson Bolts, who are coming off a Victory Royale, given that they are another top 10 team, so that's not going to be easy by any means, but a battle for the forecast tower is, of course, worth fighting for. And we've seen Bryson Bolts escape already with the cards, so...
Not only that, I mean, even factor in what happened yesterday. Bryson Bolts taking out Flixie when he did secure that forecast key card, so anything goes just about. Just because you get the key card, until you actually confirm it onto that forecast tower, you can't consider it in your control. Teeny and Chap, though, across the map, just putting on so much pressure here for Garrison Shari. No real opportunity for them to bounce back here.
Garrison Shari mixing up the strategies doesn't seem to be working going north at all right now. They were better off sitting in the storm trying to catch tags on the Clix and Vino. Jumping in with Chicho now in Trulex. just outside the Doomstat. Big base here. Ramped out almost to see what they can find. Things are going to slow down here for a moment, but on the other side, things starting to heat up now for Chap and Teeny. Another elimination to finish the duo off.
They knew that Shari was a solo, though, after collecting Gira, so it makes sense that they would take the time to pinpoint his location. The surge damage, just such a massive necessity to collect early on, so that way they can have better control over their rotations as the match progresses. Because we are down to our final 2 lobbies here today, MDF. Walks Pink getting active now because the likes of Rise and Yuma, and they're gonna win out. 2 big eliminations to add to the tab as Poyo and Peterbot yet again also finding themselves fully in control of the forecast tower.
They've doubled back, they've secured it again, and this means that they will have all the information for all of the zones coming up. It's such an advantage. And it's not just them, right? There are other teams, of course, securing other forecast towers. However, they have just been the team that be able to do the most with that information.
But now you've got a team with the best medallion, the best striker burst assault rifle, the best kind of opportunities to set themselves into optimal positioning thanks to the forecast. Shutting that down might not even be the focus. More so, it's just got to be other teams emphasizing even more still into their own gameplay to ensure that they can keep up at this point.
Miko and Flixie trying to keep up. I love that they go around, tag other teams, and then double back to the railways, always looking for someone who makes the mistake of getting to their drop spot, looking for scraps. Seems to be what works. On the other side, though, CZB Nathan, EU team going up against Bryce and Bolts right now. Bryce and Bolts are actually just waiting right now, probably not too sure about what they want to do. I'm sure they want to get back to farming as they don't have much to work with here, and CZB and Nathan seem to catch a read here. They don't want to take this fight.
Yeah, Season B and Nathan, they're in a far better position as well, just having that little bit of elevation to work with. So Bryce, Bolts, they're likely going to head the opposite direction, but something I couldn't help but notice, last time we checked in with Trulex and Chicho, that surge base that they had established, the way that they were taking shots into Doomstad, wondering how much interference they've been playing today up against the likes of Muzz and Epic Whale, Reek and Ritual. Keep in mind, those 2 teams are trying to head, they're already softly contesting each other. They've been splitting Doomstad between the north and south sides, but when you've got Trulex and Chicho, such strong mechanical players, you know they have such crazy pinpoint accuracy, and they're holding you with the surge base from so far. It can be very difficult to actually work your way out of that location.
Especially if it forces you into another team that you're not expecting, which of course will be disastrous. Chicho and Trulex doing just that as well, talking about manipulating these rotates. They're trying to do that here. No tags right now into Rapid and Batman Booga. However, Trulex has got a completely different angle here on the outskirts. But the call's being made. Time to get a move on it here. They'll be one of the first to rotate now.
Plenty of rocks, though, to easily refarm some of the brick that they had invested for that first surge base. And just behind the Lex and Chicho's Eagle Eyes inside of that surge base. But the surge bases continue to pose issues for plenty of other teams around the lobby. Here we've got Poyo and Peterbot actually looking to see if they can capitalize on the Sky and Scroll. One above, one below. Sky Scroll caught in the center. But they're going to try to just finagle their way out of this one, sure enough. Poyo, though, just quick to the chase.
Haven't quite got the tags, though, right? So something isn't going right for this battle here. Clearly, the goal is damage and or eliminations, but none being earned. Meanwhile, Ping and Wox right here are in a completely different fight. Deep into the storm, just outside the underworld. Wox, who's at 3 eliminations here, clearly fired up for match 11 right now. Chasing down Visuals and Braids. Finds the wall. Ping on the other side, gets the edit. However, Braid slips out.
Looking rather dire, though, for Braids. And for Wax and Ping, they've already invested so much time. They need this surge damage at this point, which is why Wax, he's so intent, so determined to make sure that he cleans up the other half of this duo. Not to mention the 3 eliminations as well. Wax and Ping playing super aggressive. Some of these final lobbies. A knock, though, is going to be a big setback here for Wax and Ping. They have some white heals to work with, but keep in mind, we just saw Trulix and Chicho's positioning. All the other teams as well that are based a little bit more towards that northeast side of the map are going to have ample opportunity to just gatekeep these teams that are still inside the storm rotating so late.
Think about what they're fighting for. These are all of our top 10 teams we're jumping in and giving you guys updates with. You are seeing just why they are sitting well within the top 10. Taking fights, dropping teams, making big moments every single chance that they get, and now Dukes and Sphinx are looking to do just that as well here, as they're sitting heavily in 5th here. But Kramsu Clone looking for the double pincer here. Both sides are cut off, but Dukes and Sphinx double back one another. Good defensive block thrown down there. The tags are even better, but Dukes, as mechanical as he is, can't take too many of those tags there. Will he be set back? Kramsu really pushing the agenda here, as is Clone.
Keep in mind, Clone and Kramsu, they're trying to make up for lost time. Queasy getting that initial elimination posed such a big setback because they had to make a play for the reboot ban. So now you know that they need some surge damage to efficiently move throughout the rest of this mid game. And Dukes and Sphinx, they wouldn't mind the refresh materials at this point. They're using up a lot of their splashes just to try and get the job done. Not sure which duo actually decided to start the engagement, but at this point, somebody needs to find closure before the third party trickles in.
Dukes and Sphinx gonna get another tag here onto Kramsu, but not much. Clone is also hurt, but so is Sphinx. Sphinx seems to be the one taking the most damage in this battle. All of these chug splashes coming out to make sure they keep him up. Given the circumstances, the Flowberry Fizz to reset the full HP now. They're gonna commit back into it. They're too deep into the water now to give this one up. They're gonna have to swim their way out. They need the mats, they need the material, they need everything that they can pick up off of Dukes and Sphinx here. And Sphinx and Dukes need to stay alive because they're inside the top 5, so much more riding on the line for them right now.
But again, the fact that they've even been held up for this long with Kramsu and Clone is such a huge detriment. There are multiple teams now beginning to filter in around them, and the way that the zone has started to pull over the likes of Reckless Railways, keep in mind that's also Vico and Flixie's backyard, and they've got that forecast knowledge from this match.
Dukes is trapped though, 2 tags come in, and he is forced back to the low ground. This is not going the way they expected at all here. Sphinx also punished now. The Hispanic duo sees blood in the water here as they've caught the white tags. They are hunting as aggressive as ever. Down goes Sphinx first. Dukes falls as well, and 5th place is out now. And this is gonna give everyone else the chance now to secure that 5th plus. Resigns to Demo, they'll move in here. It's not over for Clone and Kramsu. In fact, it's done for them now as Resigns is gonna find the first elim, and Demo gets the 2nd. And just like that, they timed their entry perfectly for OCE.
And at this stage, again, Clone and Kramsu, sure, they got the points from the set of eliminations onto Dukes and Sphinx, but fact of the matter is, they weren't in a position to be able to deal with the third party after the fact that Kramsu left as a solo, and this time, he might not have the opportunity to actually make a reboot ban play like his partner just did for him earlier on. All the while, Chicho and Trulix, they have found their new height of surge-based territory. And they've got a massive overview of where the entirety of the lobby is. This brick box on top of the mountain face as well. Very easy to spot for other teams, which means the flow of traffic for players moving into this next zone likely going to be restricted by Chicho and